What's good with it in the hood with it? Welcome back to the Collective Clips where you already know we get it in. But before we get it in, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Ding! Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content I'm kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. We're going up on this channel and it's all because of you. And for that, I can say I'm very humbled and I'm very much appreciative. So gracias. I'm back. It was a long weekend. I didn't do much this weekend. I had some shit going on. I'm taking care of business. But I am back, man, and welcome back to the Collective Clips. And I wanted to talk about something that showed up on my radar, man, something that I was asked to speak on, so I'm definitely going to speak on it. And there's a couple little issues. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is this rapper out of Sacramento, BFD. Salutes, much respect. I know what he is, I know what he's about, and I respect it, man. I truly respect the Goldtoes get down and what he's pushing. At the same time, right, I could see that there's a masked avenger, okay? I'm not going to say this podcaster's name because at the same time, this podcaster has thrown subliminals at myself and others that I function with. Lightweight, right? Used to support me back in the days and all of a sudden, I don't know, started doing his thing with the full community and whatever, right? And the reason I don't say his name is because it seems like when people say his name, they get reported on. Not saying that he does it, I'm just saying, right? I'm not trying to go that route. But there was, I guess, an album cover, a fake news album cover, or a poster that was made, or a thumbnail by this individual that showed several Northern California rappers, BFD being one of them, and several Southern California rappers, and said that this was going to be presented by Goldtoes, basically a compilation between North and South, and that this was going to be hosted by Cholo Juan and himself. Now, I'll say this. That never happened, right? That's not real. That's fake. And when you put guys' faces on these thumbnails or these compilations, you know, I seen BFD went on the No Paperwork podcast. Shout out to them guys doing their thing up norte. He said, you know, that was basically exploiting him, exploiting his name. And then, of course, that guy fired back and said, hey, once you become a public figure, you can talk about whoever you want to talk about, man. They can't do nothing about it. And that he was going to stand his ground on it, and started calling people out and calling people out of their names and wanting to catch fades and all these different types of things, right? Here's my thing. You know, they're both right. BFD feels exploited. Even me using his picture feels like maybe he's been exploited or utilized. But at the same time, it's like this. As content creators, we're going to speak on what we speak on. And that's just the way it is, man, whether you like it or you don't. You know, it's depending upon how the Goldtoes does it respectfully is what should count. All publicity is good publicity. You know, up until this point, there's going to be a lot of people. You know, I get a lot of love from Southern California, a lot of love from the Fresno area, a lot of love out of state, out of country. People that didn't know who BFD was, man, I'm hoping that this would shed some light to his name and you'd go back and listen to his music because the Goldtoes is gifted. Lyrically, he could rap. This is someone who did 23 years in prison straight, got out with a go-get-it mentality. Got to get him. Got to get him mentality, right? And is out there making waves and noise in Northern California. Now, of course, he's pushing that Northern movement, allegedly. So, you know, there's a lot of people that, of course, are not going to fuck with his music just based on the geographical area he's pushing, the regional sound he's pushing. But I fuck with it. You know, anyone who's brown, anyone who's Chicano, I'm going to hype their music up to the fullest because I believe if you're talented, you deserve your flowers while you're here and not later. That's cool. But anyways, this guy, definitely, this podcaster doesn't do a lot of views, right? He's still new in the game when it comes to podcasting as far as running his own thing. And you know, kind of is the type of guy who says what's off his, you know, comes right off the chest with it, says what's on his mind. You know, basically a gunner wannabe. You know, where I say uncut, knowledge you can't get in college, no added preservatives, raw. People are going to hate me or love me. It just is what it is. This guy's trying to do that too, but doesn't have as big of an audience. Ain't nothing against it. You know, I don't have no ill will or ill intention toward this guy. But at the end of the day, you know, you can't be putting guys on a fake ass compilation thing that you say, you know, because it's clickbait. Basically, man, you know, you can get people in trouble. You can put people's lives in danger. You're basically saying that these guys have agreed to do a compilation together, which they haven't agreed to do. Now, do I think the compilation would be great? Absolutely. Do I think everybody can get a bag out of it? Absolutely. But you can't put people like Goldtoes in that light, put people like Cholo Juan, and then yourself, add yourself. I don't know what credibility you bring to that. And say that this is like basically, and I understand he said, oh, this is what could happen. The coulda, woulda, shoulda hasn't, and it doesn't. So when you're putting someone who's solidified and has a reputation like BFD's name on it, he's going to feel some type of way. He's going to be like, hey, bro, you could have did all that without me. Who gave you permission to use my face on this fake ass compilation thing? He stands his ground. He says he's not going to work with Southerners. That's where he stands. Just like there's a lot of Southerners, no matter what you say, like Bozo and several others that say they won't work with Northerners. To each their own. Do I think it's a good look not to work together? No. I've always been an advocate for unity, canalismo, and all that from every side, right? But my voice, even though it's louder than this podcaster's, hasn't even been heard on that point. These guys are going to do what they do, and that's just it. So I wanted to bring up something else. I watched the No Paperwork podcast. If you haven't tapped in, go show them some support. They're out of the Sacramento area, man. They're doing their thing, right? Doing their thing. Or maybe it's the Stockton area. I'm not sure. Whatever the case may be, man, I watch it. It's a little bit biased at times when it comes to the Northern Enlightenment. But at the same time, man, Norteños are starting to have podcasts. They're starting to put it out there. And I support all of them. I support Big Tone's podcast. I support the No Paperwork podcast. I support every other podcast from Southern California that's doing their thing. The Hood Stocks, the Haters World, all these guys, or at least I respect it, And this guy BFD, had a lot to say about this certain podcaster and how he felt about this guy. But let's get down to breaking down who this podcaster is, right, without saying his name. He was someone that was involved with the Full Community. And I remember watching the Full Community. And it's also someone that I've talked to in the past, years ago. When he first started doing whatever he was doing. He was a big supporter of my channel. Kind of fell off, got out the way, moved to Southern California and started fucking with Southerners heavy. And was all on the Full Community with Huelga burdens on his knee and talking about dropouts this and dropouts that. And he was still active this and active that. But how are you going to be an active Norteño posted up on a podcast, with Southerners? I always tripped out and I was like, you can't just walk away from the North and say you're not a dropout. That's not the way it works. No one is. It's not like the Southerners where you're allowed to have a family life and do your thing and not be political. In the Northern cause, the movement, you can't do that. And you can't especially be flying a Huelga bird and doing all that, kicking back with on a Southern podcast. It just doesn't happen, right? It's not supposed to happen. Anyways, he was fired from that or quit that podcast and whatever. That's his business. But I always wondered on that, like why everyone goes in on me. Oh, Gunner's a dropout, this and that. But here you got a guy sitting down talking about dropouts with a Huelga bird on his leg with Southerners. It just never made any sense, right? Anyways, this guy is going to do what he does as a podcaster, speak his mind. And he's entitled to that. And he is absolutely right. BFD is a public figure. He is someone who's out there, man. And there are going to be people that utilize his image, his name, his likeness, all that for views, clout, or whatever. At the end of the day, I'm not trying to do that. I'm just speaking on an issue that I think is relevant to the people and that some people want to hear about. Another thing, if you look in the background, you see Toes, right? Goldtoes, who I've always gave the ultimate respect to. And I know that on this No Paperwork podcast, a discussion was brought up and they were talking about Goldtoes utilizing the Norteños as a gimmick, basically utilizing them as to make money off their name. I've never seen that. If anything, Goldtoes has only brought more money to the pot when it comes to the Northern movement. He's only put Norteños' names out there and basically was one of the proprietors and innovators on putting them on the map. Okay, up until the point of Goldtoes being the producer, GT digital distribution and doing all that, the Norteños never had a voice in the game like they do now. I understand Toes, and I've always said it, he's not with unity per se of trying to get all the guys to just quit gangbanging and be together and hold hands. He's more so, when can everyone come and have a conversation and get this money? The world wants to see Northern and Southern California rappers come together and make some money together because they're very talented on both sides, man. And they shouldn't let street politics and gangbanging get in the way of that bag, right? But it happens. It's happened for 50 years. It's going to continue to happen as long as you allow it to, right? As long as that the powers may be feel that it's, that's what's in the best interest of the movements, and that's what's going to happen. And I respect it, man. I respect the activities of the actives, man, that feel a certain type of way. I understand a lot of sangre has been spilled. A lot of bloodshed has happened. A lot of the back and forth disrespect has happened. It's coming more into the light nowadays with people like Lefty Gunplay, Lazy Boy, Bands, Little Weirdo, these rappers that have went back and forth disrespecting each other, right? But there are a lot of rappers that don't do that. There are a lot of rappers that, like Big Tone and Acito and these certain guys, and even guys in Southern California like Dopey and Conejo and these rappers that I fuck with tough, that I like their music, that don't, or even, that don't do that. They don't get involved in the back and forth like Chito and Swifty and these guys that do, you know. And I think that's just a younger way of thinking. It's a different element. Now, as far as BFD, I have heard some of his music where he is pushing the Northern movement tough. That's his thing. You know, having the status and being in the position that he's in allegedly, you know, that's his thing. He's about canalismo for the gente, his Northern California people, and he's about pushing that movement respectfully. You know, it's just his thing. But to say that Goldtoes basically is utilizing the Norteños as a way to make money, no. Goldtoes, if anything, has made a lot of Norteños money and has always been and always has established for his gente and his people. Period. That's a fact. You know, I heard a rapper, Southern California rapper, I don't even want to say his name, man. Talk about black and browns doing music together, right? He was asked in an interview about doing doing rap songs with black guys. And he said, yeah, black and brown movement, man, we doing it. Well, this is, first of all, this is something, and I'm pretty familiar with it, correct me if I'm mistaken, right? But isn't this something that Goldtoes started in 1996, Black and Brown Entertainment? Isn't he the first one to holler black and brown, put compilations together with brothers and Mexicans together? Correct me if I'm wrong, but he's been pushing that black and brown since 1996, man. Almost 30 years ago. This is what Goldtoes started, man. Trying to put Mexicans together with blacks, man, to make money, to get that clout, to do their thing, you know, together the right way. So I give nothing but respect to Goldtoes. I understand how from some people's eyes, they may see Goldtoes as the guy behind the curtain, man, just trying to utilize people to get money, but that's never been the case. If anything, this is a man that's trying to help people to get on their grind, to stay on their hustle. You know, I've talked to people who've had conversations with this guy in the past, and they said he's the coolest character, the nicest dude. If you call him, man, he'll have good words, good game for you. He's gamed up, and he gives game freely, right? But only so much, man, because the game is to be sold, not to be told, right? But I will say this, you know, the No Paperwork podcast, although they're northern heavy, and I respect it, you know, I think they got it wrong when it comes to Toes. You know, I think Toes is a respected veteran in California, North and South. I think he needs his flowers. I think, man, a lot of the Norteños are indebted and should pay respect and homage to someone who has only opened doors for them in the past, man, has only showed them love, right? That's how I feel. Now, as far as BFD, man, I respect his get down and what he's doing. But this podcaster that's speaking on his name, I could understand how he's feeling some type of way. Now, this podcaster went as far as to call BFD out. Want to catch a fade. Want to fight. Put on a wrestling mask and thought he was Rey Mysterio trying to do the 619 or the 916ness or whatever it is, right? The 619. Shout out to San Diego. But why call someone out because you don't agree with them? You know, when you're a content creator, everything that you say or do is not going to be agreed with. You know, especially when you're utilizing someone's image and speaking on their name and you don't know them personally. You know, you can't run around 1 minute and be down with the Southern cause and show them so much love and then be down with the Northern cause. You got to play the middle correctly if you're going to play the middle. And you got to respect everyone across the board. You can't call certain dudes out to appease another certain group, or you can't do that. You know, if you feel disrespected, tap in, man. There's ways. When you're a content creator, believe me, I know. I've been doing this for 4.5 years. There's ways to get a hold of people through IG, through TikTok, through DMs, messages, whatever, man. You could reach someone who knows how to reach someone that knows how to reach someone and let this guy know, hey, look, bro, I wasn't feeling how you came at me right there. I don't want to put our shit on blast. You know, especially someone who claimed to be a Norteño from a barrio in Santa Rosa back in the days, then you already know how to carry yourself. You already know what it's about. You already know that if you have any type of conflict or fucking you don't agree with another homie's fucking what he's got to say, then you could tap in on some real gangster shit, bro. You don't need to call people out online and disrupt their movement with what they got going on and try to make them look stupid or dumb, right? Because that's not going to work out in your favor, especially when you're dealing with someone, man, who just did that amount of time, who's certified and solid in them streets. There's a lot of people, man, that are going to come to his defense. There's a lot of people that are going to feel some type of way. Got to respect a man. You don't do that shit, man. It's what happens all the time. People always calling each other out online. None of these fights ever happen. When you call someone out online, you want the authorities to be alerted that there's an issue. You're dry snitching, man. You're basically saying, hey, man, I'm calling you out. You think it makes them look bad because they don't pay attention to your frivolous words or what you got to say, man. But when you're calling people out and doing that, you're basically crying out for help. You want people to say, no, no, no. You want this right here. You want me to say, Charlie, bro, don't do that. Don't do that. That's what you really want. It's a cry out for help. That's the truth. That's why I don't call people out online and I want to fight you and do all that. It's not that I'm scared or I'm a sucker, man. It's not that I'm ducking fades or none of that. It's that I'm like, bro, come on. It ain't that serious. Next thing you know, you're going to want to jump in a boxing ring and charge people to watch it and all that. No one knows you, bro. You only get 14, 15 views on your videos. Stop it. Work hard, grind hard, respect everyone, and that's how you bubble up. People always ask me, Gun, how'd you come up in the game? Respect, man. I respected everyone. Not everyone respects me, but that don't stop the shit. The shit don't stop. I'm still going to respect everyone because the foundation of my name and everything that I believe in is respect. If anything I took from the Norteño movement, man, that was the number one thing. The key is respect. Respect all those around me, right? I play a little bit. I joke. I have a good time. And some people take it the hard way. But at the end of the day, I've made my space at the table. I'm solidified. My voice is heard. Everybody watches me, whether they like me or they don't, or they're supposed to or they're not. They still watch, man. And they understand that I show nothing but the utmost respect. Those who try to spin the narrative, make it like I'm disrespecting dudes, they got me twisted and fucked up. That ain't never going to happen. I got love for the North and the South, and that's just what it is with me. Hate it or love it. You know, you ain't got to respect me, but you're going to hear me if you watch me, right? This other guy, again, man, you can't use other people's names and speak on them in a derogatory or negative way because it's going to come back on you. It's going to be a bad look. It's happened with me in the past. I've done it. I can't be a hypocrite, man. I've said things, man. I've ran with paperwork that was sent to me. I've disrespected people. I've done it all. And I can tell you in content creation, that ain't the way to go, man. You know, you're going to be judged. And if you want to become a factor in this shit, you're going to be judged on how you carry yourself and how you treat others. That's a fact, right? And not everyone's going to agree with you or like you, but period. It's how it is. So as far as this guy BFD goes, man, listen to his rap music. You know, go watch the No Paperwork podcast. Listen to what they got to say. Sometimes it's good, especially say you're from Southern California and there's Northern podcasts. It's always good to stay tapped in and find out what the other side is doing, man. You can pick up some game and vice versa. You know, if you're there's Southern California things that they got going on, could put you up on major game, straight up. As Chicanos, as brown people, man, we only have us. We only have us to thank. We only have us to help each other, man. And until people get that through their head, they're never going to get a giant bag. Their bag is always going to be minimal, very minimized. You know, you're not going supersizing that McDonald's. You're staying with the small. You're getting a small order of fries, and everyone loves McDonald's fries. We want the big. Give me the large, right? So if you want the large, homes, you got to have money to get the large. The only way to get the money is to get with the business, and that's facts. But as far as this podcaster using this guy as clickbait, that right there was some cold shit right there. He said that he was putting up something like, what if, this was to happen, and threw himself in the mix. I mean, it would be cool. Don't get it twisted, but you're putting people like Goldtoes on blast like he's promoting that. He never said that he was promoting. I'm sure, if they did decide North and South to work together, man, I'm sure somewhere along the lines Toes' name would come up because he's respected in the game and because he makes shit happen. I said in my other video I did about Lefty Gunplay on the other channel where the vatos are trying to kiss on him and shit, or it looks that way, right? That there's only a certain amount of rappers getting any money in the game. Toes being one of them, Burner, D-Baby, Mexican OT, and Baby Bash. These are the Chicano rappers, Mexicano rappers that are actually getting money from this shit. Because they don't have a regional sound, man. They're Texas rappers. They're out there, man. They're making noise on the BET Wars. They're at the Lollapalooza, the Palooza la la, right? They're doing their thing. The fa la 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 la. Everyone's doing their thing, making money. Whereas you have these Northern California, Southern California rappers, regional rappers, they only got a certain fan base. And outside of California, they don't got really too much of a fan base, man. So it's going to be harder for them to make money. The rap game, like I said, has no legs, brother. It doesn't have a long shelf life, man. If you want to be heard for your rap and for your talent, man, then you got to go out there and get it. But what this content creator is doing, I understand saying that this would be a lovely thing. You can't put it out there like this is actually what's happening. And especially put guys like BFD on the cover, man, and expect them to be cool with it and happy with it. And when they're not, and they voice that like, hey, bro, I feel like this is exploiting my name. I didn't agree to this shit. This shit is fake, bro. This fake news. Homie, this is clickbait. Then you say, I'll call you out. I want to fight you then. You're like, come on, bro. You don't want to fight no one. Stop it. Keep your man bun and keep it pushing, man. Keep doing what you do respectfully. And again, I don't hate this guy at all. He's just another content creator trying to get on. And a lot of people do that. They use a lot of clickbait, a lot of stuff for views. Tell your stories, man. Talk about what you're going to talk about. But don't ever think that disrespecting another man is going to get you put on. There's so many people that do that, and look, they fail. They never amount to shit because all their content is based on stirring up controversy and talking shit about other men, disrespecting them. Speak the real. Tell your opinion on things. Let people know how you feel. But, if you'd have said, hey, bro, I would love to see a compilation, man. I would want to be a part of that. That'd be groundbreaking, historic for the Chicano people, brown people. I would say, I got you, bro. Can I be a part of that? Like, it's all good. But when you're saying that this is what's happening and these are all the guys that are going to be on it, damn, bro, you're like selling fake posters. That's like motherfuckers saying they sold out a concert in Atwater. It just ain't real. Anyways, with that being said, shout out to BFD, the No Paperwork Podcast. Shout out to that podcaster that's doing his podcasting. Again, I ain't saying his name, and I'm not doing it because I'm hating on the man. I'm doing it because he'll report me. And that's real. Or someone will. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive and struggle and be a real podcaster and do what I do. Not even a podcaster. I'm a content creator. Something totally different, right? And do what I do, man. And that's speak my mind. But do it respectfully. This is the gun. Bang, bang. Thank you.